Alright guys, so you're on 2 Vintage 2 right now. Charlie is away, so I'm going to be taking over the channel for a while and uploading some videos on here, kind of like behind the scene videos that you don't catch on the 2 Vintage main channel. I asked Charlie if he wanted to do his channel, and right now I think he's a little bit too busy to do it, so I'll be taking over just so the channel doesn't die. So if you guys want to come back for behind the scenes, not too many people know about this second channel. Not too many people know about it. Charlie uploaded, I think, maybe 5 videos on it, 6 maybe, throughout the year, and he's gained like 2,800 subscribers. And I think to get like monetized, you need to gain 1,000 subscribers in a year, plus like have a certain amount of watch time. So I'm just trying to get that for him so he can make a little bit of money, so he has some motivation to do it. And that's pretty much the reason behind it. But yeah, so behind the scenes videos are going to be on here from now on, so stay tuned for these. So right now, you guys just saw this video where I bought the Polaris, and I actually did get it running. It runs great now. Got the little pull cord installed right here. What else did I do? Got the switch installed, so as you can see, you can turn it on now and turn it to run, and then brights. That's the high beam right there, and low beams work as well. And then we've got the high beams work. Electric start just clicks, so I don't know what that's about, but anyway, everything pretty much works on it. It runs great, 4x4 works. It's a pretty clean machine now. So what I did was peel off all these stickers. This was all bed liner on the plastics, and I peeled it all off. I don't know why they put bed liner on it, and then the stickers were all covered in bed liner, so I had to take a hair dryer and melt it all off and peel it all off. And then all up here was bed liner. I don't know if there's a picture from before, but it was really crappy looking up here. These racks were all kind of black and red peeling off, so I took some spray paint, painted up the racks to make them look a little bit better. Painted up this bracket right here and this bar because that was all rusty and stuff. Painted up the rims a little bit to make them look more black. They have snow on them right now because I took it for a ride, and it goes pretty good. But then I put these plastics back on, bolted it up, put the back rack back on with new bolts. What else did I do? Just cleaned it up a little bit with some WD-40. As you can see, the seat's like brand new on this beast. I fixed the throttle cable, so that's all smooth now. Painted these up here, painted that up here. Put some oil in the gas just in case the what's it called? Injector oil mechanism doesn't work. I rewired up the 4x4 down here, both wires. Rewired up these lights. What else did I do in this thing? I had to do the recoil like 5 times because it kept on breaking. Bolted up this chain guard right here, and that's pretty much it. This is the old recoil right here, old spring, old what's it called? Ignition switch right here. And yeah, but we'll take you guys through a walk through the garage of what all the machines are that we have. Just a little update so everyone can be clear about everything we have, just so we can get a clean picture of the whole garage. Over the course of the year, I've sold quite a few bikes. Not a lot for profit or anything, just flipping them to have them on the channel and whatnot. So the first one that we've got in the garage is this liquid-cooled 4x4. It's a 400cc 2-stroke 4x4, which is pretty sweet if you think about it. It's basically a Snowmobile engine in here that is liquid cooled, which is amazing. It's pretty cool if you think about it. Liquid cooled 2-stroke 4x4. I took it for a ride yesterday. Couldn't get it stuck. The 4x4 just pretty much, I mean, you can get it stuck if the snow is like super deep because it bottoms out. But if the wheels are catching and it's got some good tread, you won't get stuck with it. Drift's really nice. The 4x4 button is right here, which is kind of nice to have. So what you do is you just take it on, put the lights on, and you click 4x4. and it turns it on. Sometimes the light in there works, sometimes it doesn't, depending on. I think the bike has to be, or I think it has to be running for it to work. But that's that one. Next one is the Suzuki Quadzilla. I picked this up for $2,300, and I've done multiple videos on it. You guys can see the video with like 301k views on it, which kind of blew up. And yeah, so I think the first one was like picking up the beast or something like that. And then I got these ice tires, which are going flat on it now, and so those don't hold air too well, but we never got around to riding it with those, so I still have to do that. The ice tires, the other ones are sitting in the back over here. So the next thing that's up is a snowmobile. This thing is a Polaris, I mean a Yamaha VMAX 600. Just thinking about the Polaris right there. Yamaha VMAX 600, picked this up for $400 about 2.5 years ago, I think, maybe 3 years ago. Always runs, never had a problem with it ever before, and yeah, that thing's pretty beastly for $400. Has a registration card until 2020, so it's pretty reliable for a snowmobile, and I definitely recommend it. We can pull sleds with it, we can pull anything with it, got tons of power. But next one up is Polaris Trail Boss 2x4. Bought this thing for $400, and it was not running at the time, so I got it running, and everything works on it. Just needs a new battery for the lights and electric start, but I even checked that out, and the electric start does work with it when you plug it in, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, the tires all hold air. What I did for this thing was paint the rims, paint the racks, clean it up a bit, and yeah, so that one's up for $900, I think right now. Next one, Honda ATC 90. Picked that guy up for $475 in Fond du Lac. Runs, drives great. Haven't ever had a problem with it. Tires are great for the snow, kind of like hovers right over the snow, so it's really nice to have. Next one is the Paco. I think I'm actually selling that today for $1,000. It is from 1976. It's a Paco. What's cool about the Paco is that these were made in, I think it's Spain, and the guy that made them, he was an inventor, an engineer, and he engineered this bike specifically for the mountains. So this is kind of like a mix between a trials bike and an enduro bike. So he made this bike specifically for mountain riding and like trails throughout the mountains. So you could take it up through the mountains, and then if you had a huge rock to get over, it's a light bike, so you can just hop over the rock. But if there's that long stretch of path that you need to get on, then you can use it as the enduro, and that's basically what it is, enduro trials bike. And it's the only one like it. So it's got the left-hand kick, it's got the cool speedometer right there, and yeah, look at the huge sprocket in the back, really gives it a lot of torque. Yeah. Next one is the one everyone loves, the CR250 1998, mint condition. I mean, it's pretty much perfect. Look at how clean the motor is in there. It doesn't get much better than that. Everything is spotless on it. New plastics, new grips, new levers, new everything on it. Pretty much brand new. Next bike, matching bike from 1999, CR125, basically mint. I mean, you can't get much better than that. That's Chuck's bike. This is my bike. Next one we've got here is a little Frankenstein bike we made. Charlie and I made this a while back. What I had was an old Hidaka frame, and I was like, oh, what can we do with it? And we had this old Predator motor that we weren't doing anything with, and this kid in Oshkosh, he was like, oh, I'll trade you the Predator motor for this little bike I've got. And it was like a little power bike, what's it called, a little crotch rocket bike. We took the motor out, placed it in the Hidaka. We had to cut the frame and all that stuff, and put these handlebars on it from the little bike, and put electric start on it, little battery box, and the thing runs. Put the fender on it, and somehow we lined up the gears to match. It's a little 4-speed bike. Runs pretty good, pretty fast for what it is, and that thing runs. So that's that bike. Kind of unique. It's kind of like a little Frankenstein bobber bike. Next up is my brother Luke's Yamaha ET250. This bike is pretty unique because I bought this about 4 years back for $450 and then sold it for $14 to a guy in Minnesota. That guy in Minnesota bought a title for it and then sold it back to a guy in Oshkosh, which I then bought the bike again from Oshkosh for $600 with the title and a new seat cover and a bunch of updated stuff. So I basically sold this bike for $14 and then bought it back for $6. And now it's worth around $2,000 the way it sits. Just needs a new fender in the front. But yeah, it's a super good bike, always ran great. Yeah, it's just really a great bike. I don't know what else to say about it. Next one is my Cafe Racer. This thing is pretty sweet. Unique history around this one is that my grandpa, this is actually my bike I started with on the channel. So I'm never getting rid of it. But this is a 1975 RD 350. And when I got it, it was pretty rusty, pretty crappy. The tank was all dented. And this became a project for me when I was about 17 years old. My grandpa picked it up for $100 and dropped it off, and he's like, see if you can fix it. And that's basically what got me into motorcycle riding, motorcycle fixing, the YouTube channel, everything. And these two bikes right here were pretty much my first couple bikes, along with this Kawasaki over here. So this one has got a long history on it, and I started out stripping down the whole bike when I first got it. I cleaned every single part by hand, all the wheels, all the rims. These are original wheels and rims on it, and they were completely rusted. And I took sandpaper and pads and cleaned up the whole thing. I ended up taking apart the whole motor. I polished all the cases, painted the heads, cleaned the carbs. The carbs were completely locked up. I had to boil them in water to release them because the slides were so locked up. The gauges were all messed up. I cleaned those up. Made this custom rack for the gauges because it's a Cafe Racer bike, so I had to lower the gauges. Made this custom rack, and that fits on there perfectly. Put new handlebars on it. Painted the tank. Got all the dents out of the tank. I spray painted the tank and buffed it, and yeah. And then I made this custom cafe seat. This is not one I bought. This is custom for the bike. I took foam, made the seat, and then took fiberglass and covered it all. So that's kind of what the bike looks like. It's just missing the foam pad that goes on the seat, and it's missing the side covers right here. But it's basically finished. Just needs a couple more things, like the key for the gas tank and stuff like that. But then I put the DG pipes on it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it looks pretty cool. And I blacked out the entire bike. It looks pretty cool with the black and the chrome, I think. But yeah, that bike runs. Just has to be fine-tuned. Cover this back up here. But yeah, that bike I will probably never sell because my grandpa gave it to me, and it's the first real bike I've ever owned. The next one is another one that kind of blew up my channel here. It's a YSR 50. This bike has gotten multiple views on the channel. I picked it up for $500 with Charlie back in the day when we were both doing videos, and super fun bike to ride, always reliable. Charlie rode it to work, and yeah, it's just a super fun bike. Always starts up, little two-stroke. Yeah, you can't find any of these around anymore, and it's just a super cool bike. So next bike is another one my grandpa actually gave me that I'm not gonna get rid of. This thing is a really, really cool bike. This is one of my first bikes ever. Kawasaki G5100. These bikes are actually pretty rare to find. The KEs you can come by pretty frequently, but these GS500 or G5100s are pretty tough to come by. And this thing is in very good shape, very good paint on it and everything. So that one needs some new jets for the carb, but otherwise it runs pretty good. I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure to stay tuned on this channel for a little bit behind the scenes. I'm not going to post any of these videos on my main channel. They will all be on this channel. And I've got all these tires for the Quadzilla and all these quads piling up back here. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, Charlie will be back soon. Stay tuned. Leave some comments below if you want him to make some videos. I mean, I'm just gonna edit. I'll probably just put this up with some music. I won't even edit it, and we'll see what happens. But I just didn't want the channel to die, knowing that there's almost 3,000 subscribers on there, and it's pretty much going to waste. So I figured I would just upload to it if Charlie's not going to. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for more behind the scenes, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Against the wall, nothing makes sense, no sense at all.